Back, the National Prosecuting Authority in North West, it says it believes it has a strong case against those on trial for the Marikana massacre. The incident's been described as the deadliest use of force by the police in South Africa since apartheid. Former North West Deputy Police Commissioner William Mpembe and 5 officers who are co-accused appeared in court today. They're facing charges of murder, attempted murder and defeating the ends of justice. The final charge for allegedly giving false evidence at the Farlam Commission of Inquiry. Sinclair Kenyane is following that story. She joins us live now from Mahikeng. Sinclair, good evening to you. What exactly are these officers accused of doing?
Well, the charges, Stephen, that you've just read out in your intro relate to an incident that happened on the 13th of August in 2012, just in the build-up to the Marikana massacre that happened on the 16th, during a confrontation with those striking miners. You'll remember there was an unprotected strike at that time with the Lonmin miners in Marikana. And so the incident that happened on the 13th resulted in 6 miners being shot dead by police and many others being injured. That's why there's a case of attempted murder and defending the ends of justice, but also contravening the Commissions Act. And you said in your intro that is in relation to the false evidence that the accused gave during the Farlam Commission of Inquiry into the Marikana massacre. So that is the incident that is in question right now. It took 8 years for this trial to eventually sit, but we saw it officially kick off yesterday and today. So that is what these 6 accused are facing in relation to that particular incident.
Okay, and what's actually happened in court so far today?
So today the court heard evidence from a state witness, Kobus Botha. He is a forensic expert that actually was the first respondent to the scene on the 13th of August, and he was giving evidence of what he found when he arrived at the scene. And we saw the defense attorneys cross-examining that particular witness, trying to really poke holes, so to speak, Stephen, into his evidence, asking him questions around the credibility of the crime scene itself, whether it was not tampered with or not, asking him questions on the landing of a certain helicopter on that day, whether that could have not jeopardized the scene. They were asking him questions around whether people, when he arrived, were people walking in and out of the scene. So really, we saw the line of questioning from the defense attorneys really trying to discredit, so to speak, the evidence given by that particular experts. They were talking also about, they asked him thoroughly about bloodstains, why he did not photograph bloodstains of the bodies that were there on the ground, since he is also a bloodstain expert, and whether or not him not taking photos of those bloodstains on the floor, does that not suggest that those bodies were rather dragged to that crime scene, or were they dropped onto that crime scene, really trying to question the credibility of that particular crime scene. So that is what we heard today. Throughout the day, the 3 attorneys representing the 6 accused really grilling that state witness regarding the evidence that he was giving today. But interestingly enough, we've spoken to the NPA, who believe that they have a watertight case and that they have a long list of witnesses that we should be expecting to appear in court in the next coming days. And that witness list consists of the surviving miners that survived that confrontation. It will also consist of the families of the deceased. It will also consist of the IPID, the Police Investigative Directorate, which we understand also had their own investigation internally that they conducted within the police force, and they had their own recommendations and their own findings in that investigation, which, from what we understand, really does not paint a very good picture of the accused, because there was at some point a charge that was allegedly put into the charge sheet regarding the IPID itself of the accused contravening the police investigative act because of the alleged false evidence that they gave in that investigation. So it's going to be quite an interesting next coming days, Stephen, here at the Mahikeng High Court, especially when we hear those damning evidence coming from the witnesses that have been prepared by the state.